In a cozy room filled with the bright colors of toys lived Woody, an old cowboy doll. Woody had been with his owner, Bonnie, through thick and thin. Beside him was Buzz Lightyear, a heroic space ranger who endlessly declared, "To infinity and beyond." Woody and Buzz had faced many adventures together, but a new one was about to unfold. When Bonnie made a new toy out of a spork and named it Forky, the toy world was turned upside down. Forky was different. He believed he was trash, not a toy. Woody, with his kind heart, took it upon himself to teach Forky what it meant to be a toy. One day, while on a family road trip, Forky jumped out of the RV, thinking he belonged in the trash. Without hesitation, Woody followed him, setting the stage for an adventure filled with unexpected twists and turns. As Woody and Forky journeyed to find their way back to Bonnie, they stumbled upon an antique store. There, they met Gabby Gabby, a doll with a broken voice box who longed for a child's love. Gabby Gabby tried to take Woody's voice box, but instead, a beautiful friendship blossomed. Gabby Gabby realized that she didn't need to be perfect to be loved. Meanwhile, Buzz and the rest of the toys, including Bo Peep, a spirited shepherdess who had taken on the world, were hot on their trail. Bo Peep led the rescue mission, her bravery and wisdom shining brightly. They faced challenges and outsmarted the clever Giggle McDimples, a tiny police officer toy. Bo Peep, with her adventurous spirit and unwavering determination, embodied what it meant to be there for friends in need. Through perseverance and teamwork, Woody and Forky eventually reunited with Bonnie. Forky learned his true purpose and embraced his place as Bonnie's toy, while Woody discovered a new sense of freedom in helping others find their way. What made their adventures truly special was the realization that being a toy wasn't just about being owned, but about being there for one another, ready to jump into action, no matter the circumstance. The heart of a toy, they learned, lies not just in the way they're made, but in the love they share.
Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Monstropolis, there was a company called Monsters Incorporated. It was run by friendly monsters who generated power for their world by collecting children's screams. But don't be scared. The monsters weren't mean, they were just doing their job. The energy was needed to keep their city bright and happy. At the heart of Monsters Incorporated worked two best friends, a big, blue furry monster named Sully and a tiny, one-eyed green monster named Mike. They were the top scarers of the company, collecting the most screams from kids. But their lives changed forever when they met a little girl named Boo. One night, Boo wandered into the monster world through her closet door by accident. At first, Sully and Mike were terrified. Children were considered toxic in Monstropolis. They tried to hide Boo and get her back home without anyone finding out. But something amazing happened. The more time Sully and Mike spent with Boo, the more they realized that children's laughter was even more powerful than screams. Boo wasn't scared of them, she thought they were funny and sweet. Sully and Mike decided to change everything. With Boo's laughter, they went on an adventure to show Monstropolis that laughter was the key to a brighter future. They faced several challenges, including dealing with the sneaky Randall and the bossy Mr. Waternoose. But Sully and Mike's bravery and Boo's giggles won the day. Monstropolis was transformed into a city powered by laughter, and Monsters Incorporated was never the same. Sully and Mike became heroes, proving that friendship and laughter could change the world. Boo returned safely to her world, but she always remembered her monster friends. And every night, she would giggle when she thought about their silly, friendly faces. And so, Monstropolis thrived on joy and giggles, teaching us all that happiness is the strongest energy of all.
Once upon a time in the bustling city of Paris, a tiny grey mouse named Remy dreamed of becoming a great chef. Unlike other mice, Remy had an extraordinary sense of taste and smell and a passion for cooking. His hero was the famous chef Auguste Gusteau, who believed anyone could cook, and Remy believed it too. Remy lived with his large family in the attic of an old lady's house. His father, Dango, was the leader of the colony and always reminded Remy to stay away from humans, because they were dangerous. But Remy couldn't resist his passion for cooking, and he secretly watched cooking shows from the skylight window. One stormy night, while rummaging through the lady's kitchen for ingredients, Remy found a cookbook by Chef Gusteau. Suddenly, the old lady woke up and chased him with a broomstick, and in the chaos, Remy got separated from his family. He was washed down the sewers and ended up in the heart of Paris, right near Gusteau's famous restaurant. Hungry and lost, Remy didn't know what to do until he heard a voice. It was the spirit of Chef Gusteau, or at least that's what it felt like to Remy. The spirit encouraged him to follow his dreams no matter what. Gathering his courage, Remy sneaked into Gusteau's kitchen. There, he saw a young man named Linguini attempting to make soup, but accidentally ruining it. Feeling sorry for Linguini and eager to help, Remy used his cooking skills to fix the soup. Linguini caught Remy, but realized the little mouse had a gift. They made a deal: Remy would help him cook, and Linguini would keep Remy a secret. Remy hid under Linguini's hat, pulling his hair like puppet strings to control his movements. The restaurant's soup became a hit, and everyone was talking about the new talent in Gusteau's kitchen. But not everything was easy. The restaurant's head chef, Skinner, became suspicious of Linguini's sudden success. He tried to uncover the secret, but Remy's cleverness kept them one step ahead. Remy and Linguini's friendship grew stronger, and they created many delicious dishes together. One day, the toughest food critic in Paris, Anton Ego, announced he would be coming to review the restaurant. Everyone was nervous, but Remy had an idea. He decided to make ratatouille, a humble but special dish. On the night of Ego's visit, Remy prepared the ratatouille with all his heart. When Ego took the first bite, he was reminded of his mother's cooking and was deeply moved. He demanded to meet the chef, and to everyone's surprise, Linguini revealed the truth about Remy. Ego was amazed and praised Remy's culinary genius. From that day on, Remy and Linguini opened their own restaurant where humans and mice could dine together. Remy proved that no matter how small you are, if you have a big dream and the courage to follow it, anything is possible. And so, Remy, the little mouse with a big heart, became the greatest chef in Paris.
Harry Potter was no ordinary boy. With his round glasses, lightning-shaped scar, and trusty wand, Harry was a wizard. One sunny morning, Harry received a mysterious letter from Professor Dumbledore. The letter asked him to find a hidden magical artifact in the enchanted forest near Hogwarts. Excited and curious, Harry packed his bag with a few essential items and set off on his broomstick. As he entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper ancient secrets, and the path twisted and turned as if it had a life of its own. Suddenly, Harry heard a rustling sound behind him. He turned around, wand at the ready, only to find a friendly creature named Fuzzle, a small, furry being with big eyes and a kind heart. Fuzzle offered to guide Harry through the forest. They walked for hours, facing various magical creatures like singing birds and mischievous pixies. At one point, they encountered a riddle-guarding sphinx who challenged them with a puzzle. Harry solved it with his quick thinking, and they moved on. Eventually, they reached a shimmering lake with crystal-clear water. In the center of the lake was an island with a glowing tree. Fuzzle told Harry that the magical artifact, a crystal orb, was hidden within the tree. Using his broomstick, Harry flew over the lake and landed on the island. He could feel the powerful magic emanating from the tree. With a wave of his wand and a few magic words, he uncovered the orb hidden in the branches. As he held the crystal orb, It glowed brightly, and Harry felt a burst of energy. He knew he had found something truly special. With Fuzzle by his side, Harry returned to Hogwarts and handed the orb to Professor Dumbledore. The professor smiled and said, "You have done well, Harry. This orb will help protect our world and bring peace to the magical realm." Harry beamed with pride, ready for the next adventure that awaited him. And so, Harry Potter, the boy who lived, continued his journey, knowing that with courage, kindness, and a little bit of magic, anything was possible.
Lightning McQueen faces new challenges on the racetrack. A new generation of racers dominates the scene. Cruz Ramirez, a young trainer, helps Lightning get back in shape. Smokey, Doc Hudson's old crew chief, comes to Lightning's aid. Sterling, the wealthy owner, doubts Lightning's abilities. Lightning embraces innovative training methods. Jackson Storm, the arrogant rookie, mocks Lightning. Cruz trains intensely with Lightning. A heart-pounding race against Jackson Storm ensues. Lightning mentors Cruz, sharing Doc's wisdom. Cruz finds her inner courage and strength. She takes over for Lightning mid-race. Cruz wins, surprising everyone, including herself. Sterling offers Cruz a position on his team. Lightning becomes Cruz's mentor and coach. Legacy of racing passion continues with a new generation.
Once upon a time in the bustling world of Riley's mind, there lived 5 emotions: joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. These emotions were tiny, colorful characters who worked together in the headquarters of Riley's brain to help her navigate through life. Joy, with her bright yellow glow and radiant smile, always wanted to keep Riley happy and cheerful. Sadness, in her blue hue and gentle nature, had a different but equally important role. Fear, a jittery character in purple, kept Riley safe, while disgust, in her green sassiness, protected her from things she found gross. Lastly, anger, with his fiery red temper, helped Riley stand up for herself. One day, Riley's family decided to move to a new city, and this big change threw the emotions into chaos. Joy and sadness accidentally got lost in the vast and intricate labyrinth of Riley's long-term memory, leaving fear, disgust, and anger to run headquarters on their own. Joy and sadness embarked on a daring adventure to return to headquarters. Along their journey, they encountered Riley's forgotten imaginary friend, Bing Bong, who helped them navigate the twists and turns of Riley's mind. They visited incredible places like Imagination Land and Dream Productions, always searching for a way back. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, fear, disgust, and anger struggled to keep Riley functioning without Joy's optimism and sadness understanding. Riley started to feel confused and distant from her parents because her emotions were out of balance. As joy and sadness traveled together, they learned that all emotions were necessary and had their unique roles in making Riley who she was. Joy discovered that sadness often helped Riley express her true feelings, and that made her feel better. Finally, after many adventures and lessons, joy and sadness found their way back to headquarters.
In the heart of a lush meadow, where the wildflowers sway gracefully with the wind, a bustling community of bugs thrives. This vibrant ecosystem is ruled by Queen Essie, a wise old queen ant with a knack for diplomacy and a heart of gold. Essie's kingdom includes a cast of colorful characters, each with its own unique quirks and talents. There's Benny the Beetle, who, despite his bulky exterior, has an aptitude for delicate artistry, crafting stunning leaf sculptures. Skippy the Grasshopper is never still, always leaping with boundless energy, sharing tales from distant lands he's visited. And there's Tilly the Ladybug, who is tiny but fierce, with a penchant for orchestrating intricate rescue missions for bugs in danger. One summer evening, a sudden crisis shakes the peaceful meadow. The stream that serves as the main water source for the community begins to dry up, leaving everyone on edge. Queen Essie immediately calls for an emergency meeting, gathering her trusted advisors. Benny suggests building a canal to divert water from a nearby spring, but Skippy disagrees, worried it might disturb the nearby beehive. Tilly comes up with a daring plan to seek the help of the fireflies, who know the secret paths through the dense forest. However, reaching out to the fireflies is risky. They're a reclusive group known for their reclusiveness and wariness of strangers. Undertaking the mission to convince the fireflies, Tilly, Benny, and Skippy venture into the forest under the cloak of night. The forest is thick and dark, with only the moonlight guiding their way. As they trek deeper, they encounter various perils: a sticky spider web, a treacherous antlion pit, and a silent owl watching from the branches above. Despite the dangers, the trio pushes forward, each one overcoming personal fears and relying on friendship and teamwork.
In the lush, green garden of Orchardville, a community of fruity characters thrived happily together. Each fruit had a unique personality, making every day an exciting adventure. At the heart of the garden stood a grand apple tree overseen by Granny Smith, the wise and kind apple matriarch who always had a story to share. There was Benny the banana, who was the prankster of the bunch, always making others laugh with his antics. He had a best friend named Chloe the cherry, who was sweet but shy and loved to sing softly in the mornings. Every afternoon, they would meet Paulette the pineapple, who loved to explore and had a knack for finding the best hidden spots in the garden. Daniel the dragon fruit was the athlete, always organizing fun games and races for everyone. He had skin covered in colorful scales and a heart full of courage, leading the fruits in any new adventure. There was also Oliver the orange, who was curious and full of questions, always learning something new from Granny Smith. One sunny day, the fruity friends gathered at the base of the grand apple tree. Granny Smith had announced a special challenge: a treasure hunt across the garden. Hidden somewhere in Orchardville was a magical golden seed that could grow any plant instantly. Excited and determined, the friends set off together. Benny's jokes kept everyone in high spirits as they searched, while Chloe's songs guided them like a melody through the day. Paulette's intuition led them to unusual places, like beneath the tall sunflowers and behind berry bushes. Daniel managed to climb the tallest trees to get a better view, guiding Oliver, who noted down clues in his little notebook. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows in the garden, the friends reached a particularly tricky spot, a hidden glade surrounded by thick vines. It was Paulette who spotted a glimmer of gold peeking out from the roots of an old oak tree. Working together, they gently unearthed the golden seed, their faces glowing with triumph. They hurried back to Granny Smith, who beamed with pride. She explained how the golden seed was a symbol of their friendship and teamwork. That night, under a sky adorned with twinkling stars, they planted the seed at the center of the garden. By morning, a magnificent tree had grown, bearing all sorts of fruits from apples to bananas to cherries. It was a tree of friendship, nourished by love, laughter, and adventure.
Once upon a time in a small town called Brightville, there was a kindergarten named Little Stars. It was a colorful place filled with laughter, toys, books, and big friendly smiles. The teacher, Miss Emma, was known for her warm heart and gentle nature. She was always ready with a helping hand or a comforting hug. Today was a special day at Little Stars because it was the first day of kindergarten for a new group of children. The classroom buzzed with excitement and a little bit of nervousness. Among the new students were Sam, Lily, and Max. Sam was a shy boy who loved to draw. He carried his sketchbook everywhere and hoped to make new friends who liked drawing too. Lily was an adventurous girl with a big curiosity. She was looking forward to discovering new things and making new friends. Max was a cheerful and energetic boy who loved to play games. He couldn't wait to see the playground and meet kids who enjoyed playing as much as he did. As the children arrived, they were greeted by Miss Emma's cheerful hello. She introduced them to each other and showed them around the classroom. "This is your new space," Miss Emma said, her eyes twinkling. "We will learn, play, and grow together." She pointed to the drawing corner where Sam's eyes lit up. Then she showed the reading nook filled with books about adventures that caught Lily's attention. Finally, they reached the brightly colored playground that made Max's face break into the biggest smile. During the day, the children participated in different activities. It was during art time that Sam found a friend in Lily. They drew pictures together, combining their imaginations to create a fantastic world of their own. Out in the playground, Max organized a game of tag, inviting everyone to join. His laughter was contagious and soon, even the shyest kids were running around enjoying the game. Before they knew it, the first day of kindergarten was over. As the parents arrived to pick up their children, they found happy faces filled with stories about new friends and fun experiences. Miss Emma gathered everyone in a circle and sang a goodbye song. "Tomorrow will be another beautiful day at Little Stars," she said. The children left with a sense of excitement for what was to come. Sam, Lily, and Max knew that they had started a journey filled with friendship and learning, and they couldn't wait to return the next day. And so, in the warm and welcoming environment of Little Stars, they began their new chapter, feeling at home in their kindergarten. Emma stood nervously at the edge of the schoolyard, her fingers gripping the straps of her new backpack. It was the first day of middle school, and everything felt unfamiliar and intimidating. She took a deep breath as she spotted her best friend, Lucas, making his way through the crowd, a broad smile on his face. Lucas was her anchor, the one person who made the daunting prospect of a new school seem a little less scary. "Hey, Em, ready to conquer the world?" he called out, his voice full of excitement. Emma laughed, her nerves easing slightly as he joined her. As they entered the school building together, Emma marveled at how much larger and more confusing it seemed compared to their old elementary school. There were so many hallways, so many rooms with numbers she couldn't make sense of. "I've got a map," Lucas said, pulling a crumpled paper from his pocket. "We'll figure this out together." Before long, they were swept into the hustle and bustle of first-period classes. Emma found herself in English, with a teacher who seemed kind but strict. Mrs. Thompson handed out worksheets and talked about the year ahead. Emma tried to focus, but the butterflies in her stomach refused to settle. By lunchtime, Emma and Lucas found each other in the crowded cafeteria. "How's your day going?" Lucas asked, already halfway through a sandwich. Emma shrugged. "It's okay, I guess. Just a lot to get used to." Lucas nodded in understanding. "Yeah, but we'll get the hang of it. Remember how scary elementary school seemed at first? It's just like that." Emma smiled, reassured by his confidence. The afternoon brought more classes and more new faces. In science, Emma partnered with a girl named Mia, who seemed just as anxious as she was. They fumbled through the experiment together, laughing at their mistakes. By the end of the day, Emma felt a flicker of hope. Maybe middle school wouldn't be so bad after all. As she and Lucas walked home, she realized that the school wasn't the only thing that seemed huge and confusing. Life itself was a big, complicated adventure. But with friends like Lucas by her side, she was ready to face whatever challenges came her way. They made a pact to stick together no matter what. Emma felt a sense of calm wash over her. She could do this. They could do this. Together they were unstoppable.
Max was an ordinary boy with extraordinary brains. He lived in a small town called Brainburg. His room was filled with books, gadgets, and blueprints for machines that only existed in his mind. His friends called him Megamind because there wasn't a problem he couldn't solve. One sunny afternoon, while Max was tinkering with his latest invention, Tina, his best friend, burst into his room. Max, you've got to see this," she exclaimed, out of breath. Max looked up from his work, curious. "What is it, Tina?" he asked. "There's a huge tree blocking the main road. No one can get through," Tina explained. Max's eyes lit up with excitement. Let's go! They raced to the site, and sure enough, a giant oak tree had fallen, creating chaos in the town. People were puzzled, not knowing what to do. Megamind to the rescue, Max said with a grin. He pulled out his trusted toolkit and started examining the tree. After a few moments, Max had a plan. We need to build a lever, he said confidently. Tina, gather as many strong adults as you can find. Tina nodded and ran off while Max gathered materials. Within minutes, Tina returned with a group of strong townsfolk. Under Max's direction, they built a massive lever using logs and ropes. All right, everyone on 3, Max instructed. 1, 2, 3. Everyone pushed down on the lever, and slowly but surely, the giant tree began to move. Cheers erupted from the crowd as the road started to clear. Max wiped the sweat from his forehead and smiled. Great job, everyone, he said. Now the road is clear. The townsfolk were impressed by Max's quick thinking and teamwork. You're amazing, Megamind, one of them exclaimed. Max blushed. It was a team effort. We all did this together. That evening, the mayor held a small ceremony to thank Max and the townsfolk. Max was given a medal for his quick thinking and problem-solving skills. Max, you've shown us that with a little brain power and teamwork, anything is possible, the mayor said. Max beamed with pride.
Thank you, sir.
But I couldn't have done it without Tina and everyone else. From that day on, Max became the town's go-to problem solver, always ready with a new invention or clever idea to help out. And so, in the small town of Brainburg, whenever a problem arose, people would say with a smile, "Don't worry, Megamind will figure it out." As the first rays of dawn filtered through the dense canopy, the jungle began to stir. Deep within the heart of this verdant labyrinth lived a host of creatures, each with a story to tell. Among them was a young jaguar named Covey, whose sleek black fur allowed him to blend seamlessly into the shadows. Covey was known for his curiosity and bravery, traits that often led him into thrilling adventures and unforeseen troubles. But the jungle was not just a place of mystery and danger. It was also a thriving community where alliances were as vital as hunting skills. Covey had an unlikely friend in Mina, a wise and amiable parrot. With her brilliant plumage and sharp wit, Mina provided Covey with invaluable advice and companionship. One day, the harmony of the jungle was disrupted when whispers of a great threat began to spread. A band of poachers had been seen entering the jungle, their intentions clear and malevolent. The creatures of the jungle knew they needed a plan, and fast. Covey, with Mina perched on his back, traversed the jungle, gathering information and allies. He sought the help of Rohan, the imposing and solitary elephant who had long been the guardian of the forest. Though Rohan was reluctant to join the cause, the sight of Mina and Covey's unwavering resolve stirred something within him. Together, they approached Aru, the cunning old snake with a knowledge of hidden paths and secret places. Aru agreed to share his wisdom on one condition, that the jungle's secrets remain protected. As dusk fell, the motley crew of animals hatched a daring plan. With Mina's aerial reconnaissance, Rohan's brute strength, and Aru's strategic mind, they set traps and created diversions to confuse and deter the poachers. The night was filled with tension and uncertainty, but the animals' resolve remained unshaken. In a decisive moment of courage, Covey led the charge, leaping from the shadows to confront the intruders. The poachers, taken aback by the sudden and coordinated assault, retreated in confusion. Their retreat marked a triumphant victory for the jungle dwellers. The following dawn brought a serene silence, broken only by the calls of the awakening creatures. Covey, Mina, Rohan, and Aru had not only defended their home, but had also forged an unbreakable bond. The jungle, once again, thrived as a sanctuary of life and unity. In the heart of the wilderness, the echoes of their bravery would resonate for generations to come.
Deep in the heart of the jungle, there lived a boy named Tarzan. Unlike other boys, Tarzan wasn't raised in a village or a city. He was raised by a family of friendly gorillas. Every day, Tarzan would swing from vine to vine, feeling the rush of wind against his face and listening to the sounds of the jungle. His best friends were a cheeky monkey named Tycho and a wise old elephant named Elmer. One sunny morning, Tarzan woke up to find the jungle unusually quiet. There were no chirping birds, no rustling leaves, and even the river seemed to flow in silence. Concerned, Tarzan gathered Tycho and Elmer. "What's going on?" Tarzan asked. "It's too quiet," Tycho said, scratching his nose. "I've been in this jungle for many years," Elmer added, "and I've never experienced silence like this." Tarzan decided to investigate. The trio ventured deeper into the jungle. They came across a group of animals gathered around a big old tree. The animals looked worried. "What's wrong?" Tarzan asked an old parrot. "The great tree spirit has lost her song," the parrot replied. "Without her song, the jungle sounds are gone." Wanting to help, Tarzan asked, "How can we bring back the great tree spirit's song?" The parrot said, "She lost her magical instrument, and without it, she can't sing." Determined, Tarzan swung higher and explored deeper than ever before. Finally, in a dark cave behind a waterfall, he found a glowing golden harp. Tarzan carefully picked it up and rushed back. The great tree spirit, a majestic figure made of swirling leaves and flowers, appeared as he approached the big old tree. "Thank you, Tarzan," she whispered as she took the harp and began to play. Magical notes filled the air, and suddenly the jungle burst into life. Birds chirped, leaves rustled, and the river danced once more. Tarzan and his friends smiled with relief. "Today you have saved the heart of the jungle," the great tree spirit told Tarzan. From that day on, Tarzan, Tycho, and Elmer became the guardians of the jungle's melody, making sure the music never faded again.
On a sunny morning in New York City, Peter Parker, also known as Spider-Man, was swinging through the skyscrapers, enjoying the view. Peter was a teenager who lived a double life as a student and the city's superhero. In his blue and red costume, he felt the exhilaration of flying through the air with his web shooters. Today, Spider-Man had a special mission. The neighborhood's favorite ice cream shop was holding a grand reopening after a renovation, and the owner, Mr. Leone, had invited Spider-Man to be the guest of honor. Peter loved ice cream, especially from Mr. Leone's shop, which he had been visiting since he was a child. As he approached the venue, he noticed a suspicious van parked nearby. Using his spider sense, he felt something was off. He quickly changed into his regular clothes and walked closer to the van. Inside, he overheard two shady characters plotting to steal the ice cream shop's funds. Peter knew he had to act fast. Without causing alarm, he slipped back into his Spider-Man suit and swung onto a nearby building to observe. He knew he couldn't let anything ruin Mr. Leone's big day. Just as the thieves were about to make their move, Spider-Man descended in a graceful arc and landed right in front of them. "Going somewhere, fellas?" he quipped, his eyes narrowing behind the mask. The thieves looked startled but tried to run away. With a flick of his wrist, Spider-Man shot webs that wrapped around their legs and pulled them back. They fell with a thud, entangled in sticky webs. "I think it's time you chilled out," Spider-Man said, enjoying his pun. The police arrived shortly after, and the thieves were taken away. With the drama over, Spider-Man made it to the grand reopening just in time. The crowd cheered when they saw him. Mr. Leone was incredibly grateful, and as a token of appreciation, he gave Spider-Man a giant sundae. Peter stayed to eat and took pictures with the kids, who were thrilled to meet their hero. The day was saved, and the ice cream shop's reopening was a huge success. As the sun set, Spider-Man waved goodbye to his friends and swung back into the skyline, knowing he had once again kept his neighborhood safe. And that night, as Peter Parker, he went to bed with a smile, dreaming of more adventures and, of course, more ice cream.